Hello again, and thanks for tuning into SoundOptic.com's series of Pro Tools tutorials. My name is Anthony Zeller. Today's topic is going to be about region groups. Those of you not familiar with region groups, I don't want you to be mistaken, or rather to mistake them with hard groups here in Pro Tools. Region groups are simply just a way to basically, if you're familiar with consolidating regions in Pro Tools, where you physically just tell Pro Tools to make a new audio file for everything based on a selection. That's kind of what region groups does, except that it doesn't actually do the real-time process of flattening the audio files and creating new media and so on and so forth. And it preserves all of your original edits and whatnot. It's actually a very handy thing to do. It's probably easier to show you than to tell you. So for my purposes here, I have a rock song that was recorded many years ago now that I pulled out of my archives here. I have it color-coded just for sake of ease here. I have drums and then guitar overdubs. There's a bass line in here, and then vocals are in the darker green, and then some incidental percussion here. But let's just say I want to do a quick remix of this song. And I want to take the bridge that's here at measure 33. It's about 8 bars. And I want to have it repeat here again right before the outro. And I've got some edits here going on in the bridge vocals and whatnot. And they may overlap just slightly ahead of or behind, whatever. It doesn't really make any difference for our purposes. I'm going to take this entire song, which means I'm just going to highlight across everything here and hit Apple A, just so I make sure everything is selected. And I'm going to go up to the regions menu here, and I'm going to hit Group. And you'll see that just as if you had consolidated the regions, Pro Tools basically just flattens everything that was highlighted here, which makes it super easy. If you want to think about it as like a giant piece of transparent Scotch tape or something, like you've just taped over everything you've done. Now all the original edits that you've done, fades that you've done within any of these regions will remain no matter what. It's kind of the beauty of region groups here. So now let's just say I want to fly this bridge. I'm going to go ahead and just select it, and hit Apple C for copy. And I want to insert it here at the outro. And I don't want it to paste over, so I'm just going to use shuffle mode here. For those of you that aren't familiar with all of the modes, please see my previous tutorials. But shuffle mode just allows us to insert something and take the audio, any of the regions, in this case region groups, that exist after my insertion point here. It'll just shove them basically over to the right. So it's basically just inserting without overlapping. So I'm just going to hit V, Apple V, but just V on the quick keys. And you'll see that what I copied here in the bridge segment, this 8 bars, is now been attached to, or rather inserted in, this area in the outro. And let's just listen to it right here at the transition. It's a little abrupt, but the beauty of region groups here is I can use my normal edit tools. I'm going to go back into slip mode here just to make sure I don't shove things around again. I can use my normal edit tools and it will affect everybody here since it's region grouped together. Yeah, that's pretty close. I'm going to go right here. Not as bad. Sounds somewhat natural. I'm going to go to the end of my selection. That's definitely a little bit abrupt, so I'm going to go ahead and take my hand tool here. I'm going to shove it just to the left a little, make it a little earlier in time. Not too bad. A little abrupt, but for our purposes, that'll work. So now I've just taken the bridge out of this area and repeated it basically here. Very, very easily, might I add. If you want to see basically what's behind the region group here, go ahead and select everybody again, Apple A, and go back to the region here and hit ungroup all. Actually, since it's all selected, you can just hit ungroup, and you'll see that there's a hard edit here right at the point where this region group existed. But all of the original audio files and any fades, anything that existed within the confines of that region group will remain. So again, like I said, it's just like taking a giant piece of Scotch tape, literally sticking it, if you will, to your selected area here on your audio files, and you can manipulate it any way you want. And let's also remember that region groups don't necessarily have to encompass the entire song. If you were in tracking, for instance, and you didn't have all of the overdubs done at this point, and you had all your drum tracks laid down, you wanted to change the order of something. Maybe you had a scratch vocal and a scratch guitar or something. You could change the arrangement of your song after your drums are edited, even if you used like Beat Detective and you literally had thousands of edits and thousands of fades here, making sure everything was lined up perfectly to your grid instead of consolidating, committing, if you will, your audio files to a consolidated state. You could just use region groups here and sort of pseudo fake it and change the arrangement any way you wanted, and then ungroup it all and do your overdubs from that point. If you're working in the post world too, it also works great if you're moving scenes around. You can literally just highlight over an area, and if a scene needed to change its order, you could region group it and move it in time. So anyway, that's kind of the beauty of region groups. A little easier to use than just all groups here and copying and pasting. But that's it for this tutorial. I'm actually going to use this song that I have as a backbone for some more tutorials coming up. So please stay tuned, and thanks for watching.